We often find ourselves caught in the tide of time, drifting from one day to the next, one year to the next, without ever truly assessing the course we're on. The months pass by, the seasons change, and before you know it, another year has slipped through your fingers. The question you need to ask yourself is this: what have I accomplished in the past year? What have I truly learned? And most importantly, what have I done with the precious time that is uniquely mine, which I will never get back? If you're honest with yourself, you'll realize that far too many of us allow the years to slip away unnoticed, all too content with the comfortable feeling of delay and procrastination, as if time is something that will always be there to catch up with us. When we speak of the passing of time, it can be all too easy to ignore the profound significance it carries. The years of our lives are limited, and each moment we waste is a moment we can never recover. The more you allow yourself to be swept away by distractions, excuses, or indecision, the more you miss out on the opportunity to build something meaningful. But how do you avoid the trap of falling into this cycle? How do you ensure that another year doesn't pass without making progress towards something worthwhile? Start with the recognition that your time is a finite resource. You have only a certain number of days, hours, and minutes in your life, and no matter how much you wish, you cannot buy more of it. This simple but critical understanding has profound implications. It forces you to ask yourself whether you're spending your time wisely, whether you're investing it in things that matter, whether you're shaping your future or merely letting life happen to you. The real challenge is to stop living reactively and start living intentionally. Most people react to the world around them, responding to immediate demands, emergencies, and the loudest distractions, but seldom do they pause long enough to set their own course. The majority of people spend their time chasing after superficial goals, pleasure, entertainment, immediate gratification without ever stopping to ask what they really want out of life. The fleeting nature of those desires only leaves them empty once the excitement fades. And in the end, when the noise quiets, you're left with nothing but the realization that you've allowed the most precious thing you have, your time, to slip away, wasted on trivial pursuits. You cannot afford to waste another year. The future you want to create is not going to happen by accident. It's not going to appear at your doorstep, knocking politely. If you are to change your life, you must take action, deliberate and purposeful action. To do this, you need to make difficult choices. You need to understand that every action you take, every decision you make, has a ripple effect on your future. Every time you decide not to take action, every time you choose to ignore the uncomfortable truth that you must take responsibility for your life, you are conceding to time's tyranny. You're allowing time to control you, instead of you controlling it. Time moves forward, relentlessly and unforgivingly. You cannot slow it down, and you cannot stop it. All you can do is decide how to spend it. Every decision you make is a step toward either building a life of purpose or accepting a life of mediocrity. And you must make those decisions intentionally, with a clear sense of what is important to you. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the right moment or the perfect circumstances. Stop telling yourself that you'll do it tomorrow, next week, next month. Tomorrow, next week, and next month may never come. All you truly have is today. All you have is the present moment. And how you choose to use it will determine what your future will look like. So, what should you do with your time? The answer is simple but not easy. Invest it in something that matters. Invest it in something that will make a difference in your life and in the lives of others. Start by taking responsibility for your own existence. This means accepting that you have the power to change your life, and with that power comes a responsibility to use it wisely. Life is not something that just happens to you. It is something you actively create, moment by moment, through your actions, your decisions, and your mindset. This process starts with the decision to set clear and meaningful goals. If you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there. But that path won't lead to fulfillment, because it's not grounded in a clear sense of direction. It's not grounded in the realization that your life has meaning, and it's your job to figure out what that meaning is. Begin by setting small, achievable goals. These goals should be challenging but not impossible. They should be goals that push you to grow, to become a better version of yourself. But they should also be goals that you can realistically work toward day by day. Once you have set your goals, the next step is to develop discipline. Discipline is the key that unlocks progress. Without discipline, your goals will remain distant dreams, forever out of reach. The ability to act consistently, even when you don't feel like it, is what separates those who make meaningful progress from those who remain stagnant. Discipline doesn't mean forcing yourself to work endlessly without rest, but it does mean making the hard choices that lead to growth. It means setting boundaries, saying no to distractions, and learning how to focus on what truly matters. But discipline alone is not enough. You must also develop the mindset of a lifelong learner. Life will not always go according to plan, and when obstacles arise, and they will, you will need to be prepared to adjust, to learn from your failures, and to continue moving forward. Resilience is the trait that allows you to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life without giving up. Resilience doesn't mean avoiding difficulty. It means developing the mental and emotional strength to face challenges head-on and to keep going even when things seem tough. You must learn to view every setback as an opportunity for growth, as a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Additionally, surround yourself with people who push you to be better. The people you spend your time with will have a profound impact on the trajectory of your life. If you want to move forward, seek out relationships with those who challenge you, who inspire you, and who hold you accountable. Cut out the negativity, the naysayers, the people who drag you down with their pessimism and excuses. You can't afford to spend time with people who don't share your drive for improvement and success. Take time to reflect on your progress regularly. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and you must give yourself the space to acknowledge your achievements, however small. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and lose sight of how far you've come. By reflecting on your progress, you not only give yourself credit, but also identify areas where you can improve further. This reflection is a crucial part of ensuring that you're not wasting time, but rather using it to steadily build the life you want to live. Time doesn't wait. It doesn't pause for you to catch your breath or recover from a setback. It keeps moving forward, whether you're ready or not. So you must make the conscious decision to step into the flow of life with intention, purpose, and resolve. Stop letting another year pass you by without making progress. Stop living in the illusion that there will be a better time, a more convenient time to make changes. The time is now. You don't have another moment to waste. Don't let fear hold you back. Fear will always be there, waiting to tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not ready, that you'll fail. But the truth is that you will never be fully prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. You will never feel 100% confident in every decision you make. But you must move forward anyway. You must trust that even in the face of uncertainty, you have the ability to learn, adapt, and grow. Fear will never go away, but you can learn to act despite it. Remember that every year is an opportunity, not a guarantee. Time is your most valuable resource, and how you choose to spend it determines the quality of your life. The difference between those who live lives of purpose and those who don't is the willingness to confront their limitations, to take action, and to make the most of their time. Your life is yours to shape, but it will require hard work, discipline, and sacrifice. It will require you to make tough decisions and to step outside your comfort zone. But the reward is a life well lived, one that is full of meaning, growth, and accomplishment. Time is a gift, and how you use it is the greatest expression of who you are and what you want your life to be. Don't waste another year. The time to act is now. Your time is your most valuable resource. It is limited, and once gone, it cannot be reclaimed. Every moment you waste is a step away from the life you could have built. To make the most of your time, take full responsibility for how you spend it. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and begin now. Make intentional choices every day that move you closer to your goals. Progress is built on small, consistent actions, and every moment counts. Success doesn't come from occasional bursts of effort, but from consistent discipline. Cultivate the ability to take focused action, even when motivation wanes. Embrace the challenges and setbacks along the way as opportunities to learn and grow. Regularly reflect on your progress to ensure you're on the right path, adjusting as needed. Discipline, combined with self-reflection, is the key to transforming your potential into tangible, meaningful results. Time once spent cannot be reclaimed. It's a resource like no other, intangible yet incredibly powerful. We may often take it for granted, assuming that we have more of it, that there will always be a tomorrow, a next year, a future where we'll finally get things right. But the truth is, every moment you let slip by is a moment that is lost forever. The only thing we can do is take ownership of the time we have right here, right now. Taking responsibility for your time is not just about managing it effectively, it's about understanding its value and using it in a way that reflects your deepest goals and intentions. If you're like most people, you've probably found yourself wishing you had more time. You've likely caught yourself thinking that you'd be better off if you just had an extra hour in the day, if there were fewer distractions, or if things were more ideal. But what you're really saying when you think that is that you don't value what you already have. You've been given a finite amount of time just like everyone else, and it's up to you to decide how to use it. It's not about wishing for more, it's about making the most of what you have. The first step in taking responsibility for your time is accepting the truth. You are in control of how you spend it. Yes, there will always be things that are outside of your control, and expected events, the demands of others, and the sheer unpredictability of life, but even in those moments, how you choose to respond is up to you. Time doesn't stop, and the world doesn't wait. Every day you wake up, you are given a blank slate, a new opportunity to direct your time in a way that brings you closer to your goals, your values, and your vision of the future. But here's the reality. Most people don't think about time this way. Instead of taking responsibility for it, they allow themselves to drift. They go through the motions, caught up in the flow of day-to-day life, responding to whatever comes their way. They allow distractions to eat up their precious hours, and before they know it, weeks, months, and even years have passed. This is how life slips by unnoticed. This is how time becomes a thief, silently taking from you without you even realizing it. The idea of "I'll do it tomorrow" becomes a self-imposed prison, where future opportunities are squandered because of the comfort of delay. There's a false sense of security in the idea that there's always more time. It's easy to think that we'll get to things eventually, that we'll take the important steps when we feel ready, or when things are better. But the reality is, there's no perfect moment to begin. If you wait for ideal conditions, you may be waiting forever. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time to take responsibility for your life and your time. You just have to begin, no matter where you are or how prepared you feel. The future you envision starts with the decision you make today. Taking responsibility for your time also means recognizing that time is not infinite. It is not a commodity that can be stretched or expanded. The days and years that lie ahead are not guaranteed. You might think you have all the time in the world, but the truth is that your time is running out, just like everyone else's. This awareness should motivate you to make more intentional choices, to recognize that every hour you waste is a piece of your future that's slipping away. This is not to create fear, but to inspire action. It's about choosing to act now because there is no better time than the present. One of the most insidious aspects of modern life is the ease with which we get distracted. Our devices, our commitments, the constant barrage of information, all of these things compete for our attention, often pulling us away from the things that matter most. It's easy to get caught in the trap of endless scrolling, responding to emails, checking social media, or mindlessly watching television. These distractions are often harmless in small doses, but over time they steal our time without us even realizing it. If you look back at your day, how much of it was spent engaging with distractions that didn't bring you closer to your goals? How many hours were spent on things that, in the grand scheme of things, didn't add any real value to your life? The challenge then is to become more mindful of how you spend your time. It's not enough to just be busy. Busyness is often confused with productivity, but they are not the same thing. You can be busy all day long without ever actually accomplishing anything meaningful. The key is to align your actions with your values. Ask yourself, is this how I want to spend my time? Will this activity bring me closer to the life I want to create? The more you ask these questions, the more you will find that certain things simply don't deserve your attention. You'll realize that many of the things you spend time on are distractions, things you do because they're easy or because they feel comfortable, but they aren't contributing to your growth. Taking responsibility for your time means setting priorities. When you have limited time, you can't afford to spread yourself thin across a million different things. You have to decide what's truly important to you and focus your energy on those things. This requires discernment and discipline. It requires you to get clear on what matters most in your life, whether it's your health, your relationships, your career, or your personal growth, and make sure you are dedicating time to those areas. It means saying no to things that don't serve your bigger vision and learning to set boundaries. One of the most powerful ways to ensure that you're using your time effectively is by scheduling it. This doesn't mean micromanaging every minute of your day, but it does mean being intentional about where your time goes. Look at your calendar and see where your time is being spent. Are you investing in your goals, or are you filling your schedule with tasks that simply keep you busy? By planning ahead and making time for what's important, you ensure that your energy is focused on the things that truly matter. At the same time, it's important to allow for flexibility. Life is unpredictable and things won't always go according to plan, but this doesn't mean abandoning your intentions altogether. It means learning to adapt and adjust without losing sight of your long-term goals. The ability to be flexible while maintaining focus is one of the greatest skills you can develop in the quest to take control of your time. It's also crucial to be mindful of the people you spend your time with. Time is contagious. The way people around you spend their time can influence your own habits. Are you surrounded by people who encourage you to waste time, or people who help you focus on what's important? While it's essential to maintain healthy social connections, you also need to be intentional about how your relationships align with your values. If you find that certain people are consistently distracting you or leading you off course, it may be time to reassess those relationships and make changes accordingly. Another key aspect of taking responsibility for your time is learning to focus. Focus is perhaps one of the most underappreciated skills of our time, yet it is one of the most powerful. The ability to concentrate on one thing at a time, to give it your full attention, and to engage deeply with it is a game changer. In a world filled with distractions, cultivating the ability to focus allows you to do your best work, to make real progress, and to use your time effectively. The more you practice focus, the easier it becomes to eliminate distractions and invest your time in high-value tasks. Finally, taking responsibility for your time requires self-reflection. At the end of the day, take a moment to ask yourself how you spent your time. Did you act in alignment with your goals and values? Where did you succeed and where did you fall short? This reflection is essential for growth. It allows you to recognize patterns, identify areas for improvement, and make adjustments. Without reflection, it's easy to fall into the trap of mindlessly going through the motions, year after year, without ever getting closer to what you want. Time is the one resource that we can never replenish. It's the most precious commodity we have, and how we choose to spend it shapes our lives in ways we can't always predict. By taking full responsibility for your time, by recognizing its value, and making deliberate choices about how you use it, you empower yourself to create a life that is aligned with your deepest desires and goals. Time is not something to be wasted, it's something to be invested in. And the more responsibility you take for it, the more control you have over the future you create. Discipline and reflection are two of the most powerful tools that a person can wield in the pursuit of personal growth and achievement. Without them, it's easy to become scattered, unfocused, and stuck in a cycle of indecision and procrastination. Together, these two practices form the backbone of any meaningful progress, allowing you to break free from stagnation and step confidently toward the future you want to build. While many people understand the importance of discipline, fewer grasp the power of reflection. Both are essential for long-term success, as discipline provides the structure to take consistent action, and reflection ensures that your efforts are aligned with your larger goals. Discipline is often seen as the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to push through discomfort, delay gratification, and stay focused on the tasks at hand, no matter how challenging or tedious they may seem. It's about making decisions in the present moment that will benefit your future self. Many people equate discipline with restriction, but it's far more than that. It's the key to unlocking your potential. Discipline is the bridge between your current self and the version of yourself that you aspire to become. When you act with discipline, you're taking charge of your life, rather than being driven by fleeting impulses or external pressures. It's easy to allow emotions, distractions, or the comfort of procrastination to take control. But discipline requires that you make conscious, thoughtful choices. It asks you to plan ahead, to make commitments, and to follow through on them. Without discipline, you can be overwhelmed by the sheer volume of things you want to do, or the distractions that constantly surround you. But discipline provides a framework within which you can channel your energy toward things that truly matter. It helps you to prioritize and stay on track, even when the path ahead seems unclear, or the obstacles seem insurmountable. A disciplined person understands that true growth does not come from doing what is easy or comfortable. It comes from doing what is difficult and challenging, from putting in the work when nobody is watching, and from sticking to your commitments even when it would be easier to give up. The road to success is rarely linear. It is full of detours, setbacks, and hard decisions. But discipline allows you to keep moving forward in spite of those obstacles. It keeps you grounded in your vision and reminds you of why you started in the first place. With discipline, you can push through the discomfort of the present moment to reap the rewards that come later. However, discipline alone is not enough to guarantee growth. It is not enough to simply take action without considering whether the actions you're taking are truly effective. This is where reflection becomes invaluable. Reflection is the process of looking back on your experiences, actions, and choices to understand what worked, what didn't, and why. It allows you to assess your progress and gain insights that can inform your future actions. Without reflection, it's easy to fall into the trap of repeating the same mistakes or continuing on a path that isn't serving you. Reflection helps you learn from both your successes and your failures, and it provides the feedback you need to adjust your course and improve. When you take time to reflect on your actions, you gain a deeper understanding of your motivations, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Reflection encourages self-awareness, which is the foundation of personal growth. When you understand your own behavior and thought patterns, you are better equipped to make intentional choices that align with your goals. Reflection also helps you identify any gaps between where you are and where you want to be. It allows you to see what's working and what's not, so you can adjust your approach accordingly. Without this kind of feedback loop, it's easy to go through life on autopilot, unaware of the areas where you could improve. Discipline and reflection are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they complement each other beautifully. Discipline provides the structure and consistency that is necessary for making progress, while reflection provides the insight and self-awareness needed to ensure that your efforts are meaningful and effective. It's not enough to simply be disciplined in your actions. You must also periodically step back and evaluate whether those actions are bringing you closer to your goals. It's possible to be disciplined but misguided, putting in hours of work that don't move you forward in a meaningful way. Reflection helps you course correct when necessary, ensuring that your discipline is being directed toward the right pursuits. One of the most powerful aspects of combining discipline with reflection is that it creates a cycle of continuous improvement. Each time you reflect on your actions, you learn something new about yourself and your goals. This newfound understanding can then inform your disciplined actions moving forward, creating a feedback loop of growth. The more you reflect, the more insights you gain, and the more you learn how to apply those insights in a disciplined way. It's this cycle of action, reflection, and improvement that leads to sustained personal growth. Discipline also creates the space for reflection to be most effective. When you act with discipline, you create momentum. Momentum makes it easier to reflect because it gives you something tangible to reflect on. If you're not taking consistent action, it's difficult to gauge your progress or identify areas for improvement. But when you commit to disciplined action, you can look back at your efforts with clarity and make meaningful adjustments. Without discipline, reflection can feel aimless or disconnected. But when paired with consistent effort, reflection becomes a powerful tool for transformation. In addition, discipline fosters resilience, the ability to keep going even when things get tough. Growth is rarely a smooth journey. You will face setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. Without discipline, these obstacles can become insurmountable, causing you to lose sight of your goals and giving up altogether. But discipline allows you to persist, even when the going gets tough. It teaches you that consistency and perseverance are often more important than talent or inspiration. When things get hard, discipline is what keeps you grounded, allowing you to push through the difficult moments and continue moving toward your goals. The beauty of discipline is that it builds over time. Small, consistent actions compound and accumulate, leading to significant results. The impact of disciplined efforts might not always be immediately visible, but over time, the effects become undeniable. When you stick to a routine, whether it's exercising, working on a skill, or pursuing a long-term goal, the results eventually manifest. This is where reflection comes into play once again. As you reflect on the progress you've made, you gain confidence in the power of discipline. You see firsthand how your consistent actions have led to tangible changes, reinforcing the importance of maintaining discipline in all areas of your life. Moreover, reflection helps you to appreciate the process of growth itself. It's easy to become fixated on the end goal, but growth is a journey, not a destination. Reflection allows you to take pride in the small victories and incremental improvements that occur along the way. It teaches you to value the effort, the lessons, and the evolution that happens over time rather than simply the final outcome. When you engage in regular reflection, you learn to find meaning in the process, not just the results. This shift in perspective can make the pursuit of your goals feel more fulfilling and meaningful. While discipline and reflection are powerful tools for personal growth, it's also important to acknowledge that they require patience and commitment. It's easy to want immediate results, but growth takes time. You may not see dramatic changes overnight, and there will be moments of frustration when progress feels slow. But if you maintain your discipline and commit to regular reflection, the results will come. Personal growth is a gradual process, but with consistency and a willingness to learn from your experiences, you will ultimately reach your goals. The combination of discipline and reflection provides a solid foundation for achieving anything you desire. By committing to disciplined action and regularly reflecting on your progress, you create a feedback loop that leads to continuous improvement. This cycle allows you to make adjustments, learn from your experiences, and keep moving forward with intention and purpose. The result is not just success in your goals, but personal growth that builds over time, shaping you into the person you aspire to become.